In the bottom left, playing Tenri with M0h1nder versus MVAKM playing Wulfar. So M0h1nder electing not to go for Wulfar. Guess doesn't like the Wulfar mirror matchup.
Maybe it's just to switch things up. I guess last game he went for an early Wulfar play and then it really put him behind. So maybe, well, Tenri is basically a better Wulfar but at a slow charge, right? So maybe he's planning on doing something like that a bit later to avoid falling behind too much like he did.
Yeah, I would definitely say the plays that M0h1nder went for were very Tenri-esque. Like moving a unit over to the opponent's stronghold to get the kill. That's a very like Tenri style of play.
It's really funny because they both did openings that kind of play around the thief, but there's no thief on the board.
Oh, here comes the first one from MVAKM. But yeah, I guess like there has been an evolution of how people play this map where the thief is not used as much because both players, respect the thief, don't go for those captures on the villages that allow for the thief to get a lot of value. So yeah, we're seeing the players kind of respect that option. And ooh, this is interesting. Tenri is not high on health and she does not have a good healing option. I think, yeah, she just has to stand next to this village and then heal. Has a golem there though, so she's pretty safe. But
If the knight was like 2 squares to the right, the HQ would be dead here.
oh right, yeah.
I like that sword on the left going back and forth between hitting the village and going back to heal. Yeah, we're seeing here MVAKM positioning to take down the HQ. I think M0h1nder can see it now.
Yeah, I mean, M0h1nder also has a big enough army to just bully that back.
No mages yet. That dragon is gonna
do whatever it wants. It doesn't kill any units, which is interesting.
I don't think it reaches from there. Oh, actually it does. But that way of doing things for MVAKM means that every single one of his units is an active move, even if he doesn't like finish off the swords, basically. Ooh, that thief going down is
yeah, and Tenri just being very
not
aggressive
the
there. Oh, but there is a heal to back it up, so she's fine. And yeah, the golem moves to the right. And this is that's a really nice executed turn from M0h1nder there. MVAKM has to pull back and heal.
Alright, I was wondering if there was lethal here, but MVAKM not gonna go for it. He had like a low HP sword and Wargroove, but I mean, maybe that wasn't enough. I don't know.
It's early enough in the game where it's, a big threat, right? Or I guess it's early enough in the game where you can just be like, oh well, maybe I don't want to go all in. Like I could still play this out.
That's true. He does have a quite decent position, although the later this game goes, the better it is for M0h1nder, I feel, since looking at his army comp, it was like there's a lot of units that give up early pressure, but are really effective later on, like these spears, this golem, this witch. A lot of these units like can't really fight early. But now M0h1nder is, well, his units are active.
Yeah, and he could just pick off a dragon for free. So that's the big unit on MVAKM's side. And now it's gone. And
Not sure about doing that. Like, I would expect him to go for more, you know, more like a play that he went for last game. Ooh, but actually, that works really well because the dragon was in the way of the night crit. So it's not just killing a dragon, it's also doing 50% to the HQ, which is really good. Witch dying is a little unfortunate, but there's not much that can take that can cover the HQ actually.
ooh, that HQ, yeah, the stronghold looks fine right now though.
Ooh, hang on.
Yeah, MVAKM did a ton of damage that turn. M0h1nder possibly being a bit too overzealous, but I mean, he has the army comp to just brawl this out, right? Spears are incredibly effective in this kind of situation.
If the golem can stand next to the HQ, then it's gonna be really hard to dislodge it.
Oh, you're right. And yeah, just like tons of damage coming in here. Even moves the balloon. Yeah, the golem. I don't know if that can even be killed. Possibly with the mage suiciding onto it? Yeah, mage suicide goes onto it first. Wulfar hits.
Oh, this is really, really close.
Ooh, I think it will go. Oh, but there's nothing left to put in the way. Oh. And what
Ooh,
a
that's
turn. M0h1nder, yeah, that was like perfect. Two turn
just one
lethal.
unit short.
Oh. Yeah, that was really good play from M0h1nder there. Just, you know, grabs the dragon, which is the big threat. And they're such a huge threat early game, right? Because
Yeah, I think it was less about grabbing the dragon, but more just getting the night crit on the HQ because, uh, like if this push didn't succeed, M0h1nder probably would have lost too much of his army to continue.
so, while I agree with you there, I think the one thing about the dragon though is it kills the golem.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's nice to kill a dragon, but
Oh, but it's
I
like
think
when
the
the
night crit
dragon
was the bigger deal, like I guess.
when the dragon was removed, he could then set up to have a golem stand in front of the stronghold. Is my point. Because as long as the dragon's there, like the dragon hits the golem and then like the commander hits the golem and it dies, or a golem hits the golem. As a follow
That's
up, it
true.
does.
There wasn't a like very good unit removal from MVAKM apart from the dragon.
So that takes like, and the dragon's a perfect blocker, especially in that situation where it's on a tile where it can only be hit from the front, or it can only be hit from two sides, and one of them's like behind it, right? So you're, I mean, I guess Wulfar could technically groove something back there, but it's really hard to kill a dragon in that situation. So it's an incredible blocker. It kills the golem and like any other ground unit. So yeah, I think that was like a perfect play for a bunch of reasons. It's super good value as well. So even if he doesn't go for a lethal follow up, it just works out well. And yeah, then he just like follows up, pushes with these spears. He has mages because he got the mage. He had a big force of mages to deal with the dragon, because that's what the dragon does. Is it forces you to have a mage on every front. And then M0h1nder was able to then capitalize on those mages and just say, well, I'm not going to use the mages themselves, but I've got this injured spear army that I can just heal up and push with.
Yeah, he had the golem too, so
Yeah.
it's like the turn he does the groove. It doesn't look that good, but it's really because the play was simply set up over multiple turns, and it's just very big brain from M0h1nder, I guess.
Yeah. Emo in chat saying, like, I wonder how much of it was, like, kind of coincidence that it all worked out like that. And maybe it was, but I think this is one of those times where you can look back at a game and think about these kind of compositions. So when you go into when we go into future games, we're gonna see people think about this kind of thing. But yeah,
Yeah, I
like
think the composition of each army was really what decided the fact that the push was successful or not.
but yeah, let's go into game 3.